Hi, Gemini. So, I've had the hardest time trying to get your March reading out, like the hardest time. I did your reading yesterday and then I paused it in the middle. And I guess, like, when I looked through the beginning of it just to make sure that things were okay, I usually don't go through the entire video. And somebody said that the second half of the video had no sound. So I had to start it over again. So I had to redo it today. I cut out the astrology part in the beginning, so I wouldn't have to redo that. And just did the card reading today. And then when I was going to put the two pieces together, I realized that I didn't have the astrology part anymore. I must have deleted it at some point. Like, I have no idea where it went. It just disappeared. So, and all of the readings that I did for you, I did 3 readings total. Like, they all were the same message. So there's some kind of proposal coming to you, which I really love. But now I want to talk to you about the astrology. So we're kind of like, I did the card reading already. I know what it's going to be like. And now we're going to talk about the astrology. Here we are. Wow. Henry and I are going through some things. February was really, really hard. I'm not going to bore you with the details. If you want the details, you can check the Virgo full moon video. We do have an emergency relocation fund that we would love for you to share with other people if you can. If you can donate, that would be great. I also have my calendar is open. This month, you can get 20% off using Spring 23 as your code. You get 20% off astrology and tarot readings. Okay, let's talk astrology. I wanted to get through that introduction as fast as possible because something's going on with you guys. You just need to hear the information. Okay, so astrology. Saturn will be in Pisces in your 10th house until 2026. This is happening on Tuesday, March 7th. So this is going to be really representing the harvest of what your life has been up until now. During this time, I'm reading off of my notes, by the way, because there's a lot going on. During this time, you may find that you have a lot more responsibility at work than you usually do. You may have a lot more responsibility in your public life or your public image as well. You could change jobs at some point because of your ambitions, because you want to do something different, because you're ready to move on to the next part of your life. You're also learning who you are when you feel the most complete, like in your wholeness, which is awesome because that's what your tarot reading also talks about. The 10th house represents the aspects of your life that show you the individuality as it's expressed by your own unique accomplishments. This can be an extremely rewarding time for you in your own life. I'm going to hold it up because my neck hurts a little bit. The Virgo full moon in your 4th house will be ushering in Saturn in Pisces. The full moon is asking you to make your home your safety net. Finding that stable place in your life comes from within first. Use this moon energy to connect to your heart space, connect to your ancestors, connect to your own intuition, really learn how to trust following your own intuition and your own heart space. Anything that's going to help you, anything that's not going to help you connect to your inner awareness needs to be relocated out of your life. Mid-month, Jupiter and Chiron will conjoin in Aries in your 11th house. This is going to be expanding yourself by healing all the ways you've not shown up for your own dreams, your own hopes and dreams. If you feel like you haven't been showing up for yourself, if you feel like you've sort of, like you have all these dreams and all these things that you want to do in your life, but they keep passing you by. They just like keep on going past, you're not able to settle into them. This may be the time, this Jupiter-Chiron conjunction that's going to be about 4 or 5 days long. We're probably going to feel it for about a week. It's really going to help you to learn how to do that. It's also going to show you that you're not alone. The 11th house is also about humanitarian efforts, and it's about the community. So ask your friends for help if you need. This is like, I feel like this Jupiter and Chiron conjunction is going to help you find your tribe in some way. The Aries full moon will also be happening in your 11th house on the 21st. That's ushering the astrological new year in. Welcome to the new year. That Aries new moon, we'll talk about it a little more in the Aries new moon video, but for you guys in a big way, anything that Jupiter and Chiron conjunction brings up, that Aries new moon is going to intensify, and it's really going to push it out there. The Virgo full moon is meant to wrap up. That's the end of the year, right? It's wrapping things up. The Aries new moon is about to jumpstart a lot of things for you. Pluto in Aquarius in your 9th house will be dipping his toe on the 23rd. And then we'll be settling in permanently into Aquarius after a brief retrograde back into Capricorn. But we'll be settling into Aquarius for 20 years. During that Aquarius period, your view of the world, your belief systems will change often, because things that no longer hold up in your new evolved views will no longer be supported. Things will be removed often as well. And then finally, the Cancer Mars, the Mars in Cancer. So Mars was in Gemini, your sign, since August of 2022. And it was very cutting. It was meant to cut things out of our life. It was meant to be sharp. It was not meant to be easy. I learned a lot. Well, I mean, like, I learned a lot. I studied a lot. It was transiting my 9th house. And so I studied a whole bunch and bought a whole bunch of new books. And then we also ended up having to move. Like, people were cut out of our life so fast. And the funny thing is it happened so quickly. There was no way that we could have like fixed it. Like, we didn't even do any. I mean, I know that people say that, but we honestly didn't do anything wrong. We were illegally evicted, and like, there's going to be a court case and everything. But that Mars in Gemini was rough. Like, it was really, really rough, but it showed us finite things. Like, this is the end of this. This is no longer meant to move forward. And so as we move into Mars in Cancer, which is going to be in your 2nd house, you'll probably find that work opportunities are coming up, which is perfect for that 10th house Saturn in Pisces. Finances are going to be looking a little bit different for you. Be sure that there's more self-esteem boosts for yourself than attaching that ego or that self-esteem to whatever like material items that you might have. Or, if you're, we just don't want you, I don't want you to attach yourself to things that are superficial, that aren't going to, we want to be rooted in stuff. And being attached to anything superficial, being attached to anything actually can disappoint you really, really quickly. But those superficial things are pretty rough. So we were able to do this. I'll see you guys in the tarot reading, which is just up after this. Take care of yourselves. Bye. Hi, Gemini. Welcome to your reading. Yesterday I tried to do your reading. Well, I did do your reading. And when I paused it, after I got done with the astrology, there was no sound. So I've tried to do your reading 3 times now. And I feel like this is what your March is going to be like. Like, every time you try and get something, like you're trying to do something, something is going to get in the way. I feel like that's what your entire March is going to be about, is things getting in the way. So the reading from yesterday, we'll try this again. The reading from yesterday was about a very specific relationship proposal, whether it's a leveling up in some way, an elevation of the relationship, meaning somebody could get engaged. Somebody could be getting married in March. Somebody could be just like moving in with each other, deciding they just like want to be an exclusive item. Somebody could say, I love you to someone else. Whatever it is. That was yesterday's reading that I did with the astrology. So we're going to see what happens with today's reading. Make sure, yeah, I don't know how this is going to work, but okay, so here we are. Surrender frustration. Frustration doesn't open any doors. The key to resolving a dilemma or dissolving a block is to take a breath, center yourself, and regroup so that you may approach the situation more calmly. Hopefully you guys can see that. I know that it's glaring a little bit, but surrender frustration. So, man, and things have been really, really frustrating lately, like extremely, extremely frustrating. So let's see. I feel like what your reading's really going to do, like after doing your reading several times, I feel like what's happening here is that you really just need to make sure that you're focusing on what it is that you want to do. Like really get present, get very, very present with yourself, become very present with yourself, and allow things to happen the way that you want them. Like, how do I want to put this? Like, we can hope that things happen the way that we want every single time, but this can really help you, like when you're being present with yourself, it can really help you to understand why things are happening the way that they are in that moment. We can't speed things up to happen any faster than the way that they're going to happen. We can't change stuff that's not supposed to be changed. We can absolutely, in our own free will, rush into things, but I guarantee you that you're going to add more lessons onto whatever it is that's happening right now if you rush into things. So there's definitely a temperance, definitely a patience, and a presence, an inner knowing and an inner presence. You may be dealing with a Scorpio energy or a Sagittarius energy this month. We have the Death card came up first, so there's definite transformation that's happening. The Death card is not a scary card to get. If we as a society understood what transformation, rebirth, all of that actually meant, then death wouldn't be so scary. We literally live and die. We die every day, and then we regenerate and we live all over again. The Death card is about regeneration. Then we have the Three of Wands. Wow, that was really glary for a second. Three of Wands. We have Temperance. Love that. You could be dealing with a Sagittarius energy, especially since we have the King of Wands down here. And then we have the Knight of Cups, which I'm really glad the Knight of Cups showed up because that's exactly who was in your reading yesterday, bringing you some kind of proposal. So that's still happening. But I feel like there are other emotions and other energies that might be showing up in this reading that didn't show up yesterday. I feel like you're waiting for this ending. Like, you know that there's an ending that's happening, or you know that there's a transformation that's happening. And with the Three of Wands here, you're just waiting. And that guy's like, in a traditional way, the Three of Wands in tarot is waiting for your ships to come in. Here's the thing, you guys, is oftentimes there's a boat there. We can usually roll out to the ship if it's our time to be able to do that. So really allowing yourself to make decisions in March based on that heart space. Like with Temperance, you want to make decisions with a balanced heart and a balanced mind, right? That's the pouring of the two cups in there. You can hear my cat outside the door. But then it feels like maybe there's this fire sign that's kind of, I've been journeying lately, doing a lot of journeying, shamanic journeying. For those of you that don't understand, just somebody saying, I've been journeying lately. Been doing some shamanic journeying lately and going into the lower worlds. So much like a shamanic meditation, basically, is what journeying can be. And when you go down into the lower worlds, the non-ordinary world, you meet with animals and plants and the earth, and you connect to all of that. And the last couple of times I've done my journeys, because you can get a lot of information, you can get a lot of help, you get a lot of direction when you're doing journeying. And the last time I did that, last couple of times, there's been a bear, this great big large brown bear that's waiting for me, and he has like this cup of blue elixir, like blue drink basically, but he calls it an elixir. And that's sort of what popped up in my mind when I saw this Knight of Cups here. That's what I feel like is happening. I feel like this fire sign is bringing you something sweet, and it almost is like it's been very needed. Like the sweetness of this drink was very needed, but it's like an offering. So let's see what the Death card, let's clarify the Death card. Oh, nice. Here we go. And then we have the Three of Wands. There we are. And then we have Temperance. Well, let's look at what we've got so far here, because this is pretty cool. I love it. This is actually turning out to be the reading from yesterday, so I really love this for you. So the Lovers came out, which is your card, and with the King of Swords, which is your card. So there you are. So you're going through massive transformations this month, Gemini. And it's bringing you back to yourself, essentially. These transformations. The Lovers card, yes, it can be about a relationship. Like I said, yesterday's reading was about a relationship too. But there is some kind of like relationship that is involved here that is transforming you. The Lovers card is also about the two parts of us that are inside of us. The masculine energy and the feminine energy has nothing to do with you being a man or a woman. It's just the energies that we have inside of us that make us whole, that make us who we are. And I feel like this transformation that this fire sign really looks like it's initiating in a big way is kind of helping you to become whole within yourself. It has nothing to do with the fire sign making you whole. It has everything to do with the fire sign catalyzing this transformation to help make you whole. And it's bringing you a lot of courage to wait, to have patience, right? We have the Strength card here on the Three of Wands. Could have a Leo energy around you too with this fire sign. It doesn't have to be a Sagittarius. But the Strength card on the Three of Wands is really asking you to be courageous as you're waiting for your ships to come in. It's about resiliency. I love this Strength card because you can see how the angel is taming the lion, right? So let's clarify Temperance. And if this month is any indication on how hard it was to get this reading out to you guys, you are going to really have to take a lot of deep breaths and let yourself just sort of flow through the month. There was a card in here that turned around. Let's see if I can find it. Wow. It was the Four of Cups on Temperance. A lot of times when the Four of Cups shows up for us, that means we're missing something. It's like the universe is really trying to make us aware of something that's coming towards us, or something that is wanting to present itself to us. And if this fire sign is wanting to propose something to you or make plans with you in some way or bring a message to you, there it is. It was like the second card. I had to go through that deck twice. It was the Knight of Pentacles with the Four of Cups and Temperance. The patience and the balance that you're going to need to wait for everything to come up. The Knight of Pentacles, don't get bored waiting for it. Really, like that's what that feels like. It feels like you're almost only, paying attention to what's going on in front of you, which is fine. That's lovely when you're being present. A lot of times surprises happen when we're just being present and we're intentional about being present in our own energy. Some surprises can come up, but in a really interesting way, this Knight of Pentacles is like, take your time. In one of the readings I did for you, an Eight of Pentacles came up, same energy, same exact energy. Don't skip the steps, one step in front of the other, and really make sure that you're paying attention to, in a lot of ways, I actually just want to say, don't get distracted. Like, the universe wants to bring you some things. This fire sign may want to bring you some things. Don't, if you're feeling a little bit ignored, express yourself. It might be a little hard to express yourself in March, but there's a lot going on. So let's see what this fire sign, their intentions are for you. Oh, very interesting. Yeah, all of these readings really combined with each other. So I don't know why it was so hard to get this message out for you, but for some reason, okay. We have the Queen of Cups on the King of Wands, which is funny because this is exactly how it came out in one of your other readings. I think it was the King of Wands that was clarifying the Queen of Cups. But in any way, this fire sign is a very intuitive person for you. And there's a lot of emotions when it comes to this person. And they have, really, in a lot of ways, they may have all, even been able to do a lot of that, integrating both parts of themselves. And they're sort of showing that to you. And then we have the Devil on the Knight of Cups. So there is some kind of lesson that's coming. This could be also very Capricorn. It's just a very Saturnian type energy. Whatever this lesson is. See, that's the thing, is like Saturn, the way that Saturn works for us, he's only brings these lessons into our lives because he's trying to make us better for ourselves. Like, we understand Saturn based on the way that we create our own world. So Saturn is giving us our lesson so that we can create our own world and have that, that it's, eventually there's a safety, right? There's like a safe feeling. You feel stable. When it comes to Saturn and you've learned those lessons, you feel very stable. So whatever is coming towards you, I want you to really allow yourself to pay attention to how it feels. Because if it makes you tense in any way, if it makes you anxious in any way, if it makes you feel like you can't stay grounded or you can't stay where you are, then it's probably not for you. But if it does, like if it's the opposite of all of those things, then maybe let it, take a chance and allow yourself to explore that option a little bit more. The bottom of the deck, we have the Hierophant, which is the Taurus energy, but it also feels very much like that elevated energy I was talking about. I feel like you have either a connection with someone or you have, like, you're bettering yourself. You're going through all of these mass transformations and it's really helping you to better who you are, but you're also elevating some kind of relationship with someone at the same time. And it may be a thing where it's all happening together, but feels pretty good though, Gemini. It really does. So good luck. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful March. Thank you for your patience with me on getting this out, and take really good care of yourselves. Bye.